Good morning, one and all, sir. I'm Muriyasan,
Welcome,
IQAC
sir.
coordinator.
Welcome. Dr. Muriyasan, coordinator,
yes.
IQAC. Welcome, please.
So my greetings to all on May 1st.
Thank you,
sir. Today, our former HOD, Professor Mohan sir, is going to conduct his session. Now, I'm going to hand over the session to Chairperson Dr. C. Muniandi, sir. Sir, take over, sir. Thank you.
Already taken over, sir. Taken over. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. And may I start, Principal, sir? May I start?
Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir. Please proceed.
Yes, yeah. And we have 42 participants. And good morning to all. Sir, Aram, sir, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Let us commence the event, sir, please, with your permission.
Yeah.
Thank you. And today is a very good day, and greetings, May Day greetings to all. And as a formal beginning, let me commence the program. And respected principal, Dr. S. Sivakumar, and the senior MUTA member of CPA College, my beloved teacher, and today's resource person and the chief guest, whatever words, the greater, and all are deserving to him. And he is deserving for all those higher words. And anyhow, today officially is the resource person. So in such a way, I welcome my beloved teacher and the all-time head of the Department of English, CPA College, Dr. R. Mohan Sundaram, sir. And there are many words. I will come to that part later. And host, the co-host, and the IQAC coordinator, Dr. R. Muriyasan, sir, and the NAC coordinator, Dr. K. Krishnan, sir, all the heads of the departments, senior professors, and my dear colleagues, and especially host IQAC, all controller, Thambi Sadish. First of all, I convey my best wishes to all of you, and good morning to all of you. And today, now the 1 week online faculty development program is going on. And today is the 4th day, May 1st, Saturday. So today is the 4th day. Today, we have the topic, or our resource person has the topic given by him, or the topic which is going to be dealt with by him is learning is pleasure. And a resource person, resourceful person, my teacher, Dr. R. Mohan Sundaram, sir. And first of all, it needs no introduction to Aram, sir. Anyhow, there may be new persons, and it becomes a dutiful matter to introduce the popular professor. You see, time is changing. So Dr. Aram sir is so popular, not only among the people, among the students in Bodi, but also among the people all over the Madurai Kamaraj University. In such a way, wherever you go, people will be asking for Aram sir, Dr. K. Chellamutu, the VB sir, and all these, my teachers are so popular teachers. In such a way, Dr. Aram sir is the resource person today. And he received his PhD in American literature, that in block writings. I know all those area, and he only introduced this area to me, and so that I was able to do my MPhil in block writings in such a way. My all-time mentor and a guide, my teacher, and every that kind of word is suitable for him. He received uh, a doctoral fellowship from Indian Council of Social Science Research. That is the organization run by the central government. That is shortly known as ICSSR. It's a very big organization, and a getting fellowship from that institution is not an easy job. That too before 30 years. That that occurred, I think, during 80s when I was a student here. And in such a way, he was such a wonderful researcher or scholar, even those during those days, and worked as full-time research scholar in the American Studies Research Center in Library. We shortly call it American Library, that is located now at present Osmania University. So that is now called a Osmania Library now, because Americans have given up the funding so that it has been taken. It has been given to the Osmania University, and he has put in 34 years of teaching. Teaching that too in higher education as a college professor. He has put in 34 years of very big service, very long service. Not only big, but not only long, but also very big service. Because there are many heads of the department. The students who studied under him are now the heads of the departments in the universities, in the colleges. For example, Madurai Kamaraj University, there are two departments in Madurai Kamaraj University. One is regular and one is correspondence. And at the head of the department, in the regular department of English, Madurai Kamaraj University, Dr. Chellaya is the former student of CPA College, and he studied under RM sir. And Mr. Dr. Dayalakrishnan, who is heading the department in DDE, is also former student of CPA College. He is heading the Department of English there. And in such a way, we can, identify many, more than 20 persons are heading the departments, and many are occupying higher positions. And whoever, whenever I meet them, they are asking for these three people: Dr. RM sir, how is RM sir, how is KC sir, how is VP sir. In such a way, always, talkable subjects. They are all not only in body but also all over the territory, in Madurai territory. And he has organized many international projects. As far as my knowledge goes, he organized one particular Canadian project, and the people came over here, and they also gave, some kind of ideas. Meeting was conducted, and they gave wonderful ideas how to undertake the studies and the research. In such a they were all useful, and he was much involved in doing all those things. And a special information about him is he was doing the role of the English, trainer to the teachers working in all schools in Theni district and Ramnath district. And he was the only person, as far as my knowledge goes. And he has been chairperson for many national and international seminars. And there are many, but I don't want to take much of the time in introducing. But above all, he is a great teacher, and he has been source of inspiration for many people like me. So thank you, sir, Anam sir. Thank you for your
Thank you so much.
stimulation. Thank you. And now the topic is learning is pleasure. But usually people say that reading is pleasure, whereas my professor, my teacher has given the topic in such a way that learning is pleasure. See, knowledge is not for any benefit. As Newman says, knowledge is for its own sake. Knowledge is not to be used for any other purpose. In such a way, my professor has given this topic. Learning is pleasure. Huh? Learning, learning. Learning. When we learn one particular matter, we wonder at those things. And even though the world is well aware of the matter, when we come to know, that is the basic in the research. So people would have read and found, but it doesn't matter. Whenever a scholar, whenever you read it, whenever you get an idea, that is new idea for you. You develop your research, and from that point, in such a way, learning is really pleasure, and he will make it a more pleasure. With this, my few words, let me hand over the session to my beloved teacher, Dr. Aram sir. Please, sir, please welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. To start with, my dear friends, I offer you my fraternal greetings on this May Day. And my personal thanks to Dr. Sivakumar, the principal of the college, IQAC coordinator, Mr. Murugesh. And then we have, of course, my student, friend, and present HOD of CPA College, Dr. Muniadi, for giving me this an opportunity. Nothing gives me so much happiness as being with you on this day. So after a long time, you know, 9-10 years, I made a visit to the college only for 2 or 3 times in between. Now I got a beautiful chance to get connected with all people. I'm very happy about it. And today's topic is learning is pleasure. But normally, you know, a literature teacher would not venture out to go and talk about things which are not related to literature. But I do have a feeling there is something so very beautiful and mysterious about learning. So let us see what learning is all about. See, we have been learning right from our birth, and learning continues till our death. Learning is the process of simply, the number of definitions are there, so many definitions about learning. And we attempted few things so that we can have some solid idea on which we can build our thesis. So kindly relax. I want to share my ideas. You all happen to be fellow teachers, and I am also a teacher. It's not that I'm going to give you a big precept or or prescription or a concept or anything. Instead, we will share the ideas. I want this session to be very interactive. So kindly get loaded with questions. As soon as the session is over, I want you people to come with more and more, what shall I say, questions, and let us see whether I can answer your questions. So learning is a process of acquiring knowledge, skills, and abilities, attitudes, values, and preferences. So almost everything about your life is with learning. So learning makes you whatever you are. So all that knowledge you acquire, all that skill you have should be applied for enhancing human life. So only when it gets applied, that becomes meaningful. In short, learning is becoming skilled and becoming knowledgeable, becoming well-informed in such a way that you get to help people and you get to help yourself. And how learning takes place? Learning takes place in so many ways possible. For example, as a child, you learn to talk, you learn to walk, and you learn a language, one full language from the age of 3 to 5. You learn your mother tongue very beautifully, without the help of a teacher, without the help of books, without the help of homework. So the learning takes place. It's going on all the time. Then, learning is a transforming experience. A learned person will always have a better place. From better place, he'll move on to the best place. All those great people who are learned, much learned, are very highly placed. See, for example, if we ever go to the US, you will find nearly about 100 million or 1 crore engineer. 1 crore engineers alone are working there from India. Out of India's population, 1 crore is in America, in engineering area only. And then again, think of doctors and think of management people, think of service sector, and you find people everywhere. All over the world, you find Indians. And which Indians are there? Only those who made it very good with their learning. It is not with the degree, but with the actual learning, where they can, what shall I say? They can give the proper output. So for learning, sky is the limit. So it will be good if we know certain ideas of certain other people, what they say about learning. So this statement comes from Michelangelo. I am still learning. This is from Michelangelo. Michelangelo is a master of so many subjects, including astronomy and physiology. And he says, I am still learning. What he means is, you cannot stop learning at any point of time. You know why? Because once you stop learning, you stop living. You stop learning means you stop living. And anyone who stops living, he is not a person at all. He is a zombie. Zombie means, he has life, but no life. And there is a close connection between learning and teaching. Only when you are a very good learner, you will be a very good teacher. Only when you are a very good teacher, you will make your students learn in much better way. So learning and teaching are two sides of the same coin. I'm very happy I'm addressing teachers. You know why? You should be very proud for the reason you belong to a tradition of great personalities. What I mean by that? Krishna is a teacher, Buddha is a teacher, and then what do you call? Muhammad is also a teacher. All these people know they go about giving their teaching for the humanity to learn and elevate themselves to a higher level. This is what all the learning from spiritual side. This is what we call as esoteric science. And again, as far as learning is concerned, remember the time we were Neanderthal people, and we learned how to hunt. Then we learned how to go for harvesting. Then we learned how to invent the wheel. Once wheel got invented, where are we now? And so much of tremendous advancement in the field of science. We have cell phones. We can connect with anybody, all over the globe. And in within not even a second, the same moment you switch on the phone, you can talk to somebody over there. You can do virtual shopping. You have Amazon, Flipkart, and things like that. You can choose your dress. You can choose the color, right? And we have MRI scan and everything, and that will tell you what is inside the body. How come that we have all the comforts? We have bus, car, airplane, and everything. And from the level of running a wheel, now we have come to the level of trying to put man on the moon, put man on Mars. And how all these things happen? It's all because of learning. So human beings alone have one what shall I say, privilege. That is, learning of one generation will be passed on to the next generation, accumulated learning, and that will be passed on to the next generation, accumulated learning. So altogether, now we are in 20th century with all the accumulated learning of the past from so many people. What Edison invented and what this gentleman, what's his name? Albert Einstein came with, E is equal to mc squared, and all these things put together. Now we have a digital revolution, and all these things come from one generation to another generation, next generation. Now we are very comfortable. Now just think that I am in a separate room, you are all in different places. We are able to communicate with each other. We are able to listen to me. We are able to react to me. And just imagine what it was like some 50 years before. See, until that time I was doing my BA, there was no TV at all. At that time, very few houses had phones, and we have to wait for hours to go making a trunk call. So, in the field of science, learning brought a tremendous kind of change. In the field of medicine, we got a tremendous change. In the field of esoteric science, we got a tremendous change. and think of our spiritual tradition. All the 4 Vedas are the great storehouses of learning. And then Mahabharata is again a book consisting of so much learning for human beings to follow. Bhagavad Gita is the ultimate. It tells you how to live, how to love, how to die, how to be, seeking Godhead. So everything is there. Bible tells the same thing. So whether it be religion or it be science or everyday life or social life, learning is taking place. So it is time for me to go for some of the quotations or some of the ideas given by great people. By learning, you will teach. By teaching, you will learn. It is a Latin proverb. A good teacher is a learner. Only when you are updating yourself, you become meaningful to the students. And students love you not because you look good, but because you are imparting good knowledge to them. So learning and teaching is a must for people to remember all the time. And then you have it is Then we have people like Mahatma Gandhi who said, without learning, you cannot go anywhere. And then this is from a Latin proverb, never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Every point of time and every moment, we keep learning from life. Right now, we are learning how to cope up with COVID. And 2 years back, we never thought there would be a situation in which the entire world would be trapped and people would be going with mask on their face. Now it's happening. Now we are learning how to live in a COVID pandemic situation. Then you see, the beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. Any other thing may be taken away from you. For example, your money, your status, your power. Tomorrow we have the election results. Nobody knows who is going to come to power. All the ministers of the yesterday, they may not be there. And new people may come. Or the new people may not come. Only the same person may come. So all these things are there. But nobody can take away your education. And Mahatma Gandhi said something beautifully. Live as you are going to die tomorrow. Learn as if you are going to live forever. Live as if you are going to die tomorrow. Learn as if you are going to live forever. This is something beautiful. You have to keep learning. There is no end to it. Because learning alone makes you confident. Learning alone makes you promising. Learning alone makes you a man who can stand out in a crowd. Okay, there are so many people, but we remember Sundar Pichai from Madurai. It's all because of education. See, America knows how to recognize people from any part of the world to head their institutions. Indira Nooyi is there. Pepsi's CEO, Indira Nooyi is there. Then we have Nathan Sandela of Microsoft. Then Sabir Bhatia. How many people should I remember? There are ever so many. Beyond that, there are many doctors who are very famous in America for the kind of service they are doing. Just remember, it's all their learning. It's all their learning. And there's something very interesting about learning. Anyone who keeps learning remains young. Do you know that? The secret is anyone who keeps learning remains young. For example, if you are a literature teacher, go and learn computer. And a little bit of maths you learn, a little bit of arts you learn, and learn painting, you learn music, you remain young. The moment you stop learning, you become old. And you find people who, even their old age remaining young, the reason is they keep learning. So my simple, not an advice, suggestion is, my dear friends, kindly go on developing your learning skill, learn anything and everything beyond the subject that you already mastered. There is a difference between getting a degree and mastering a degree. Okay, what is that? Try to learn something about everything and everything about something. This is Thomas Hill. And Henry Ford said actually, anyone who stops learning is old. You become terribly old when you stop learning. Whether at 20 or 80, even if you are 20 and if you are not learning, you are an old man. Suppose you are 80 and you keep learning, you are a young man. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Isn't that beautiful? Right. And all other things will exhaust you. For example, you are a foodie, lover of food. You keep on eating. How long you can eat? And how many times you can eat your favorite dish? Suppose you like biryani, you go on eating it for about 7 days a week. Well, at a point of time, you say no. But learning is not like that. It will never make you tired. It will make you ask for more and more. Learning is the only thing that mind never exhausts, never fears, never regrets. This is from Leonardo da Vinci. You know Leonardo da Vinci and all that famous painting of Paris, including Mona Lisa, and the value of which is so very high. Learning is the only thing mind never exhausts and never fears and never regrets. I mean, just by learning something, you never regret and never fear, and makes you strong, makes you confident, makes you really dignified. See, all that external appearance, your dress or money or Audi car will not give you all that greatness, which may come out of a person who is learning. A person who's learning is, a preferable. There is a proverb in Tamil. Katturukku sendra tamalam sirappu. Which means, if you are a learned person, wherever you go, you will have glory. You will be glorified for your learning. Whereas a king is a king only in his territory. A learned man is a king of all the territory. Get me right? And then again, now I think I've done enough of an introduction towards learning. Now we get into the subject with proper. Then it will be so easy for you to get along with me. So right through my session, there is a small test for every one of you. And whoever wants to take the test, you can take the test and be with me. Okay, I told you it's going to be interactive. And the small test, don't worry, it's not going to be a big troubling kind of a test. It's going to be interesting. So now this is time for me to come with slides. And if any problem regarding my voice or about slides, we can put it in the chat box. We'll try to correct it from here. And two more issues. Anytime the current may go off, if the current goes off, I'll shift the whole measurement, whole setup to another room from where I can talk. Get me right? What I want to tell you is, even if the current goes off, I'll go to another room and continue my talk. So kindly stay with me and let's have a pleasant time together. Learning is pleasure. Why learning is pleasure? I've given you enough ideas, and learning alone makes your personality. And finally, there is a statement from Bhagavad Gita, Tatvamasi. What do you think you become? Okay? What I've been thinking for a long time, you become. You are the sum total of your experience. We are different. We all people are different. You know why? Because I have certain experience, and another gentleman has some experience, yet another gentleman has some other experience. So with the experience comes out of learning. So Tattva means whatever you think you become, and you think according to your learning. Okay? According to your learning, you think, and according to your thinking, you become something, and that's what you are. Now you know the significance of learning as such. Are you ready for, what shall I say, like PowerPoint presentation? Can I go for that? Say yes, and I would be happy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I'm going for a PowerPoint presentation. Just 1 second. See, and I've given 3 captions at the top. One is learning is pleasure. You live to learn and learn to live. Just remember, live for not making money, not for making a kind of big property for your next generations to have. And you live to learn and learn to live. Okay? And learning is a lifetime process. This also you have to understand. There is nothing like, what do you call, you can stop at a point of learning. You have to learn all your life, because life itself is a process of learning. You grow, growth is learning, and along with the learning, you become a personality. Well, let me go for my. So, can you see the second this thing? It takes time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. One second, please. Let me. Okay. Now I have the quotes on learning, which I have already done. Anyway, just to remind you once again, let me read it. When we stop learning, we stop growing. This is from Jack Lohman. By learning, you will teach, and by teaching, you learn. This also I explained. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Well, what's happening right now? Learning is the only thing. Mind never exhausts. So all these things we have already done. So let me go for the next important slide. Why do we learn? Can you see the tiger over there? If anyone is very good in maths, we used to tell that he is a tiger in mathematics, Kanakula point. What is the reason behind it? The focus. And tiger will kill only the animal it gets its focus on. And why do we learn? What is the reason for it? I have a list. What is this list like? To survive. First, to survive. We want to survive better. Survival of the fittest, like Darwin said. With your learning, you know how to survive better. Not living a kind of just life. It is a better life you want to live. Then you know how to get connected with others. To connect with others. This is one important point about learning. See, in what we are connected with our family, we are connected with our kids, we are connected with our friends, we are connected with our curriculum, we are connected in so many ways with so many people. And at every point of time, certain amount of learning is required to get connected properly. Okay, as I told you that the current is gone, let me go to another place from where I can talk. Okay, kind of as I anticipated. Okay. Can you see me now? Can you see the PowerPoint? Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. To survey and to get connected, we get connected with people in so many different ways possible. You know, what are the ways? With our colleagues, we get connected in a different way. With our students, we get connected in a different way. With our family, we get connected in a different way. So we have two types of skills. One is academic oriented. The other one is called soft skills. How to make use of your knowledge, how to have interpersonal relationship, and then how to have intrapersonal relationship. So when you learn all these things, you become a person, not a person, you become a personality. You get connected with so many people in so many possible ways. Then there is an intellectual kind of connection, emotional kind of connection, and spiritual kind of connection. Intellectually, what we do in the classroom is an intellectual kind of connection. Emotional is what we have with our family, friends, and rest. And spiritual is something so very individual. And what do you do for your spiritual welfare? You get spiritually connected with so many possible ways. So for everything, what is required is learning. And then finally, not finally actually, the next level is that of participation. See, we are not an island, right? We have to live in a society. And when you live in a society, you have to participate in a meaningful way. How do you participate? You must participate in such a way. The spectrum of life, spectrum means, the different varieties and colors of life gives you a place. So we have to participate in the spectrum of life in so many possible ways. Only when you are educated, only when you are learned, not only academically, but socially, and then emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, you are the fit person to live. Just imagine, what are you if not learned? if you don't have education, if not learning, what will be your person like? What is life if you are not learning? These two questions you should ask all the time. What are you? What could you be if you are not learning? Only when you learn, you become meaningful. Only when you know, you become meaningful. I'm not talking about having number of degrees. There are so many people having number of degrees, but the degrees are not worth the paper they are written on. So there are many electrical engineers, they do not know how to repair a motor. They do not know how to set right a fault in the housing wiring, house wiring. So there are people, who get their PhD even, but they find very difficult to speak in the language in which they get their PhD. I mean, I hope you'll agree with me. I happen to see a number of people coming for the interview. During the time of interview, I ask them questions. They find it extremely difficult to answer. They have their PhD, they have their MPhil. And I ask them very simple questions like, what is your MPhil on? And my dear friend, Dr. Sokumar knows the kind of interviews we have with people in and around. They have all the degrees available, but not learning. So learning is different from having a degree. That you please understand. That you please understand. What is the next thing we have to have? So there are so many theories about learning. Ever so many theories. So learning is studied in educational psychology, neuropsychology, experimental psychology, and pedagogy. I don't want to go into all these details because each one is a separate area by itself. So let me talk about three possible ways we always keep learning. Learning by doing. When we practice something, automatically, we learn it. That is what we call as learning by doing. So, for example, typewriting, drawing, and then getting training under a coach for volleyball or football or basketball, whatever it is, and learning by participating. And what is that? Role playing, exercising, and discussing and demonstrating. This is a little bit of intellectual side. You play a role and you go on with the people, exercising something, and discussing and demonstrating. What discussing means, this is what happens right on the TV. Just by watching some discussion on the TV, you get to know every detail. What is demonstrating? You watch something over a period of time, then you learn from that. And learning by receiving. What is that receiving? Through audio, visual, reading, and listening. Right? So you are getting input, you process the input, and you reflect on that, and there is output. So at every point of time, we have learning taking place. Then we have called something like experiential learning. See, all the learning takes place. All the learning takes place only with your kinesthetic input. What is that kinesthetic input? All your five senses, seeing, hearing, touching, right? This kinesthetic inputs will make you learning. There are some people, just by looking at a tree, they will tell the age. I know some people around in Bori, they're looking at the coconut tree, they will tell this is 25-year-old tree. And they would even say number of coconuts in that tree. How they know it? This is experiential learning. Then learning by experience leads to, what is that? Experience leads to different realizations and self-concept. Different realizations and self-concept. So when you are heavily experienced, you are known for your experience. And in many factories, there will be people with less education but more experience. They will be occupying the chief positions, but not the engineers. Engineers will be taking training under those people who are less educated but more experienced. So this is what I would say, that sometimes experience counts a lot as far as learning is concerned. Then there are operant conditions. This is about animals doing certain kind of tricks. The parrots or monkeys or bears, what they do? They kind of do certain body movements or dances, all with certain kind of training. That is with the rewards and punishments. And you could have seen, people, astrologers with a parrot astrology. as soon as the parent picks up a card, what the other person will be doing is, okay, what the other person will be doing is, he'll give a grain of paddy. So he is waiting for the reward. And sometimes, dogs will behave. And if you go to a circus, you find, all the tigers will be a bit scared of the whip of the master. So reward and punishment, they work under operant condition. Then we have classical conditioning. This is one experiment done by a Russian scientist. What he did, he was feeding dogs. But every time he feeds a dog, what he would do is he would ring the bell, then he would feed the dog. And by the time he rings the bell, the dogs will be salivating. Then he would give the food. Then what happened? There is no food at all. Every time he keeps ringing the bell, automatically salivating is taking place. So this Russian scientist, Paulo, said, I can make anyone learn anything in no time. I'll make anyone learn anything with certain conditions. This is what we call as conditional learning. Then finally we have what you call learning through play. What is the learning through play? You find cats playing with a bundle of thread. Cat invents how to play with a bundle of thread. Maybe it will be playing with a ball. The same thing is done by a dog. Sometimes dog will be playing with its own tail, trying to catch its own tail, and children also do that. So this is something what we call as people do all by themselves. They invent playing and learning. So we learn through play, we learn through role playing, and we learn through experience. We learn through classical conditions. We learn through operant conditions. We have formal education. We have informal education. We have incidental learning, accidental learning, which means every point of time we keep on learning in our life. But once we learn, we have to process that in our mind. Once we process that in our mind, we become easy. But beyond all these things, there is one type of learning which nobody can ever explain. Okay, your attention, please. And I don't know whether you can watch this picture. There is something is happening, and all these people are watching that with a lot of concentration, focus, and each having a particular type of focus. And right at this time, what's happening in the crowd? You find people of different ages, all types of ages, youngsters, old people, middle-aged people. There are two people totally not interested in the meeting. All these things you can see in the small picture. Okay, in the small picture you can see all these people. But there is something very interesting going on. Now at this point of that time, they're learning something. So let me read out what I have written over there. Okay. Okay. Right. So the previous slide tells you that they are very focused. They are learning something. Some people are interested. Some people are not interested. And the like. Now look at this picture. Look at this picture. In this picture, what happens is like there is a ball. There are two people trying to negotiate with the ball. Where do you think their concentration will be? With the crowd, or with the fellow players, or the player playing next to him, or with the ball? Now you can answer me very easily. That is with the ball. So very focused. So a person playing in football field will have his eyes set only on the ball and the goal. This should be your level of status when you are learning. When you keep learning, there should be only the ball. There should not be any interference. You should not be watching the crowd. You should not be watching your fellow players. You will be watching the ball and the goal. Like that, if you concentrate a little bit, things will happen automatically. But then the problem is there. Many people keep asking me how to concentrate. That is another topic. I will come to you little later when we have discussion. So I don't want to get away from the mainstream right now. Then again, okay. Now this is the time for your, what shall I say? Can you see that Yeah. Can you see this PowerPoint? One of you say yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a test I've been talking about. This is a test for all the participants. So I give an idea. What is to be done with this? That is, either you answer the question in the chat box. The answer will be yes or no. Or you take a paper and pen and write down and finally check out how many answers are right or wrong. And it would be nice if you answer in the chat box, because many of you, I think, will find the right answer. If you find the right answer, then I'll be doubly happy. And we all people will be happy because your participation becomes meaningful. So can I read it for you? You read it for yourself. Can you read it? There are 6 sentences at the top. There is a picture. Right below the picture, I have the questions. I'll read out that passage as well as the questions for you. Right? As the wind was favorable, we could reach the place without much difficulty. All of us were happy about the good drinking water available, at least here. Some of us were taking rest under the huge shadows. Others were exploring the place. Everyone was satisfied with the good profit we made this time. We had gifts for our friends and relatives we would be meeting in 2 days' time. Is there any difficult word there? Any difficult concept there? Difficult idea there? I'll read it again. As the wind was favorable, we could reach the place without much difficulty. All of us were happy about the good drinking water available, at least here. Some of us were taking rest under the huge shadows. Others were exploring the place. The S is missing. Others were exploring the place. Everyone was satisfied with the good profit we made this time. We had gifts for our friends and relatives we would be meeting in 2 days' time. So this is a passage every one of you got to read and answer the questions given below. First question is about the, have you finished reading all the 6 sentences? Answer me yes or no, so that I can proceed further. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, finished reading it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the answer. See, it's about some people reaching some place. I'm going to ask you the first question. First question is, what is the professional identity of these people? For example, when you see somebody with a stethoscope, immediately you recognize that particular person to be a doctor. Anyone with a blackboard and few books in hand, you know he is a lawyer. And similarly, somebody is standing near a blackboard and writing on the board is a teacher. And that is the profession. Teacher, lawyer, doctor is a profession. Like that, what is the professional identity of these people? Given in these 6 sentences, are they sailors, students, or who are they? Historians? You can come in the chat box and answer me. Your answer is, there are many answers, out of which we'll find out which is the most appropriate answer.
So many people said traveler.
Next to me, when Mr. Madan is there, he tells me they're all travelers. What is your answer like? There are people, somebody tells me they are travelers. What is your answer? Okay, many people have given travelers, very good. But this is a wrong answer, my dear friends. This is a wrong answer. Look at the 5th sentence. Everyone was very happy about the good profit we made this time. Who would be talking about the profit? Merchants. Everyone was happy about the good profit we made this time. So what is the idea here? They are all merchants. Okay? So we missed out the detail. What is my second question? My second question is, what is the transport these people used? Did they come by airplane or by car or by walk? See, you all could have come to the college or some place by cycle or motorcycle or something. What is the transport used by these people? Tell me.
Ship.
Come in the chat box and answer. I'll be happy. Even if the answer is wrong, doesn't matter.
Ship.
Yeah, somebody said ship, right? I don't hear it. Say, come on the chat box, please.
Since the window is favorable, wind is favorable, we could reach
Yeah, good. So what is the transport?
ship, maybe ship or
Wind is
boat.
favorable. So, yeah, good. Who answered that? Who answered that? Very good. This is the answer. Yeah, thank you so much. So the answer is right. Wind is favorable. We talk about wind mostly when we travel by ship or by boat. So these people came by ship or boat. Now the next difficult question comes. Okay, what is the question like? Let me see the question and ask you. Can you guess the time of their arrival? By what time they could have come to this place? Can you guess the time of their arrival? Say I came to this session by 10:30 something or 10:15 something. You all could have come probably at the same time. Now my question is, by what time these people came to the place? Morning, evening, noon, night, midnight, or what time? Make a guess. Come in the chat box.
It's evening under the huge shadows.
Is once again Sokumar answering?
Hope it's evening.
Yeah, any other answer? Any other answer? How many of you say Dr. Sokumar is right in fixing that time as evening?
Night or evening.
Okay, we have answers like night, evening, afternoon, morning, afternoon. Very good. There are ever so many people answering that. Fantastic. I'm happy on that. But the actual timing is evening. How? We have shadows. What kind of shadows? Huge shadows. Huge shadows are possible in the morning as well as in the evening. Okay? But why do we fix that as evening? Reason is very simple. Because other people are taking rest. Normally people take rest in the evening. Right? When they are taking rest in the evening under the huge shadows. I don't say evening. Under the huge shadows, it should be evening, not morning. So when some people claim that as morning, let us give them 50% of the mark. Like what? Some people take rest even in morning also. So 90% right answer is evening. Okay? So they take rest under the huge shadows in the evening. Now, my next question is,
Where they are the
yeah.
beginning of their journey.
Okay, tell me whether these people are visiting the place for the first time or the second time. I mean, all the people come to this place. We have three possible answers. One is all the people come here for the first time. Second possible answer is, well, all of them come here for the second time or the third time. Third possible answer is, no, some people came here already. Other people are coming for the first time. So that we have three possibilities. Now you try to tell me, out of the three, which one is correct? For all the people first time? For part of the people first time? Right? You can answer me either way. Come in the chat box and answer. Visiting this place for the people, is it the first time or the second time or the third time? Okay. Third one is what? For some people, first time, for some people, the second time. Then answer 3. Okay, good. Then Okay. So answer, many people seem to, what shall I say, favor answer 3. And other people are keeping quiet. Only 3-4 people come online very often. I'm very happy. Other people are keeping quiet. They prefer not to answer. Okay, it's up to you. If you answer and participate, I'll be doubly happy. See, the thing is, for all the people, this is the first time. How that can be proved? For all the people, this is the first time. Somebody came with the correct answer. How? Because look at the second sentence. We are happy to find good drinking water, at least here. All of us are very happy. That is what is written, right? Yeah, all of us were happy about the good drinking water available, at least here. So only here we have the good drinking water. So when all the people like that say, it simply means they could find good drinking water only here. Okay. Then I ask you a simple question. Did these people find difficulty in reaching any other place? See, I said with this place they have reached without much difficulty. My next question is, did these people find any difficulty in reaching other places? Yes or no? Was there any difficulty or not? Yes. There is one answer, yes. Then, how many people support that? Was there any difficulty in reaching other places? Yes, there was. Yes, there was difficulty, but not much difficulty. Some difficulty was there, not much difficulty. So the person who answered deserves appreciation. There was some difficulty in other places. In this place, there is much difficulty. Okay, then let me go for my next question. Now you find a bunch of people going to this place and they're taking rest. Now you have to answer me whether all these people are of the same age group or of different age group. But all these people are of the same age group or different age group. Answer should be same or different.
Different.
Okay, this from Shiv Kumar, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? How many people would support him? Different.
Some of us are
Yeah,
taking
somebody
risks.
supporting. Right, somebody. Good. Fantastic. Different. Yeah, who is that? How many people? Yeah, different. Then different. So the majority answer comes as different. You are right. Now you have to substantiate. How do you find they are different? Different age group.
Some of us are taking rest.
Yeah, some of us taking this and some of us, yeah,
Exploring places.
Okay. Good. God. See, now what's happening is, for about 10 minutes, all the participants, they try to answer, which means they are trying to think with me, learn with me, trying to find out what is there. What I want to tell you is, these sentences do not have anything big about them. Very ordinary sentences, but there is so much to learn. There is so much to learn. Okay. Then my next question is, did these people find profit in any other place or not? Yes or no? Did these people find profit in any other place or not? Can you make out? Yes or no? They didn't find any profit in any other place or no?
No. They
No.
find profit only.
No. No. Well, my dear friends, the answer is wrong. In this place, they found a good profit, which means
Good
in
profit.
other places, they found some profit.
Some
Other places-
profit.
Yeah, some profit they had. Only in this place, they have good profit. Okay, right? So we just missed the answer somewhere there. Can I go for my next question? Okay. Now you can answer this question very easily because I have a pattern created in your mind. Did they find drinking water in any other place or not? Yes or no? Did these people find drinking water in any other place or not? Yeah, only two answers, yes or no. Yes, no. We have two answers. No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Some yes, some no. Yes. So the answer is yes. How do you know that? In this place, everybody is happy about getting good drinking water. In other places, drinking water, but not good drinking water. Did you watch my question carefully? I asked you, did they find drinking water in any other place? So they found drinking water in some other place. Okay. And next question. Are they in the beginning of their journey or at the middle of their journey or at the end of their journey? So it's a journey. We all know that it's by ship. They reach the place without much difficulty. Now you have to tell me, are they at the beginning of their journey or at the middle of their journey or at the end of their journey? Please tell me.
Middle.
How many people say middle? Come on the chat box, please. Middle. So majority answers middle. Okay. Middle. Dear friends. Ending, who is the genius? Beginning, who is that genius again? Okay, they are at the end of the journey. Because the ship journey, and look at the last sentence, in about 2 days' time, we are going to see our friends and relatives. Okay. So when you say 2 days' time, you are at the end of the journey. Maybe a ship's journey will be for several weeks or several months. And when you say only 2 days left, that simply means, yeah, you are at the end of the journey. If it's a very short kind of a ship journey, then I would say it's a middle. So we can say 50% mark for the middle and 100% mark for the end. Okay, be satisfied. Okay. So you both are correct. But those who found at the end of the journey is really great people. My appreciation for them and also for the other people. And my appreciation for so many people who are not answering also. You know why people are not answering? But they have so many answers swimming in their mind. That's why they are not answering. Not that they do not know the answer. They know the answer. The trouble is they do not know how to fix the answer. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, are you satisfied how learning takes place? Let us discuss this slide alone. Do you understand how learning takes place? By looking for minute details, by getting inferences, by applying your experiences, by looking for what is gone before and what is coming after, by having general idea of what's happening in the world, by having general idea about sun and the moon. Okay. Then what I can make out of this passage? Well, I can talk about ships, I can talk about winds, I can talk about the principle behind ships. So many things can be taught out of this passage. Then I can talk about different type of winds, trade winds, and we have northeastern winds and south and all these things we can talk about. And all these things count a lot. Right? Learning is a pleasure. Somebody commented. Thank you so much. So this is how we have to learn. So in the first part of my speech, I gave you some theories. Maybe all the theories you know pretty well. Now we have come to the real type of learning. This is for learning trigonometry. This is for learning algebra. This is for learning calculus. This is for learning what you call all about digital work. So keep learning. We'll be really happy. The next slide is something. Well, I want to tell you about intuitive learning. Okay. Now you know this is something nobody can ever explain. I have a list of people over there. Ilayaraja, then whom I have? Shakespeare. So first Shakespeare, Ramanujan, Ilayaraja, Beethoven, finally Kamal Hassan. You may wonder how Kamal Hassan got into the picture. I'll explain. See, the first one is Shakespeare. Shakespeare was never schooled. He never had his degree. And he is mostly read, mostly researched, mostly talked about, mostly enjoyed, mostly interpreted kind of writer, even in 20th century. The reason is he put all the learning, all the experience in such a way, he passed on the legacy from generation to generation. So how many centuries it is since Shakespeare wrote his stuff? 400 years. He wrote everything in 16th century. Now it is 21st century, right? 5 centuries is continuing. He lived for many more centuries. 100 years before now, this time, none of us are alive. 100 years from now, none of us will be alive, but Shakespeare will live because he has got the essence of all the learning in his dramas. So, my dear gentlemen, I'm talking about the literature people. Don't refrain. What shall I say? Restrict yourself only with the 4 or 5 plays of Shakespeare. Read all the 37 plays of Shakespeare. It's a rich mind. Anytime you feel that your language is getting less and less, read a couple of Shakespearean plays, your language will pep up. But unfortunately, many people go for the essays, they teach the essay, they teach the characters, they never read the plays. If you read the play and you understand it, you are really, really gifted. Your English will go like anything. And there is no equal to you. And if you learn Shakespeare almost every day, this for literature people. For other people, learn English in any way possible you like. Then who is the next person? Ramanujan. Okay, this Ramanujan is another wonder. I used to read about Ramanujan and I used to work out some of his problems. Dr. Ilongo was there, who was addressing you a couple of days back. And when he was here, I was his friend, and we used to work with certain problems. I'm not a mathematician, but we tried to find solve small problems here and there. I was very happy being with him. Ramanujan is a wonder, right? What kind of wonder he is? Like Ramanujan died at the age of 32. He was dying, and he was visited by Professor Hardy. Hardy is very sad because he knew Ramanujan was dying. And then what happened? Ramanujan was asking Professor Hardy. Okay. Ramanujan was asking Professor Hardy, why you are looking sad? And Hardy knows Ramanujan is going to die, but he doesn't want to tell him. And he says the taxi in which I came has a dull number. And all mathematicians know about it. It's a very dull number. Ramanujan is dying, and Hardy is referring a particular number. Number is 1729. What is that number? 1729. The taxi number 1729 is a very dull number. Ramanujan said, no. It's a very interesting number. This is the sum total of 2 cubes. Sum total of 2 cubes, which can be expressed in 2 possible ways. What is that? He said 1729 can be expressed as 10 cube and 9 cube. And also it can be expressed as 12 cube and 1 cube. Answer is 1729. Look at the way his mind is working. That is what Ramanujan is all about. Okay? So here is a man. He just surfaced. Somebody has the mic on, please. Okay. So what happens is like this dying man is giving an answer. This is what that so much in him he has learned to be one such a person. He achieved all the fame within 32 years. Then we have Ilayaraja. Okay. And what about Ilayaraja? Ilayaraja never had any. This Ilayaraja never had any formal education in music. He never had any teacher. And he learned everything from his brother, family. And this man from Pannepuram, we should all be proud of him. This man from Pannepuram.
So screen share on it.
Okay, well, if you're not sharing the screen, no problem. I'll talk to you. So this gentleman, what's his name? Ilayaraja, all the way from Pannepuram, came from very humble beginning, went up to London, and he was a Philharmonic master. And all these Londoners are taking down notes from him. And philharmonic means, several types of instruments by several people, all got to be done in a way, almost reaching the level of Beethoven. So Ilayaraja did that. Till date, nobody can explain how it happened. And in an interview, Ilayaraja was asked, how come he knows all the things? He said, until the time I compose, I do not know what the tune is. The moment I sit before my harmonium, then music comes. For this and all, we cannot explain how the learning takes place. Maybe this is God-given or what. So all other learning we can give. Accidental learning, instrumental learning, academic learning, and then experiential learning. But the learning of Ilayaraja, nobody can ever say. There are ever so many people down here in South India, got master's degree in music, but they cannot produce music like Ilayaraja. Ilayaraja is uneducated, literally. Now, he is one such a master that we have to honor it. That's what Ilayaraja is about. And finally, I have Kamal Haasan. I had mentioned about Kamal Haasan. You know why? He's a school dropout. He left the school at 9th standard, and he was doing all odd jobs in the cine field, being an assistant to a cinema, dancer, Thangapan master. And all of a sudden, he took a giant leap, Viswarupu. And have you ever seen Kamal Haasan speaking in English? There are a number of YouTube videos. He is addressing students in IIT Bombay. He is addressing students in IIT, which place? IIM Bangalore. And he is addressing students in Kharagpur IIT, all in English, all chaste English and very sensible answers. He answers so very beautifully, not like the Kamal Haasan that you see in Nidhimaya meetings. This Kamal Haasan you see on a podium of a college speaks very sensibly. In 2016, he was addressing a meeting in which university? Yeah, Harvard University in America. I was there that time. I was there. And I was so very proud to see someone from India addressing a meeting in Harvard, addressing our students, answering all their questions so very beautifully. He has no formal education. And nobody knew where he got his education. I'm very jealous of some people, and he's one such a person because his English is impeccable. He would speak much more than a professor. Okay? Much more than a professor, he would speak. And it's really surprising. So if you find time, any of you, kindly get back to what? Some of his videos available in YouTube and see that. Then you realize that learning happens with hard work. Learning happens intuitively. You all have intuition. You all have talents. But the trouble is, you don't put yourself to an extra mileage, an extra effort in learning. If you put yourself for an extra effort in learning, automatically, that intuition will help you to learn fast. Why people are not learning, you know that? Why people are not learning? Because they have this elephant mentality. When they catch the elephant, a wild elephant, they tie it with a big chain. After 1 week, they go for a smaller chain. They tie the elephant with a smaller chain. Then after 1 week, they go for the smaller chain. Then after 1 week, they go for the smaller chain. Finally, there will be chain in the leg without tying to any area, but the elephant will not move. You could have seen in a number of places, even in temples, elephants, while standing, there will be chain around their leg, not tied to any post, because the elephant thinks once the chain is there, it cannot break. Once the chain is there, it cannot break. That is why it's standing very still. And even if you tie the elephant with a small rope, it cannot break because mindset has been created like that. We also have the mindset. I cannot speak English. We have, if you like elephant, no, we have a mindset. I cannot do maths. I cannot study. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. Then what are you for? See, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody by learning, but you have to prove yourself to yourself. Get me right? Gentlemen and ladies, you have to prove yourself to yourself. Not for somebody. Somebody need not appreciate you, but you have the capacity to learn, capacity till the end. Okay, in the beginning it may be difficult. For example, learning cycling is very difficult. But once you learn cycling, then it's possible for you to ride cycle with both hands off. Do you do that or not? I remember the time, I learned cycling. I was doing it right on the road. Many times people used to scold me. Don't do it. You may fall. And learning driving, learning bike, and learning to speak, public speaking, presentation, this, that, and everything. It all comes by practice and learning. And don't ever put off learning, because if you put off learning, that learning will stay for some time and will never come near you. So learning is everything. Public speaking is learning, knowledge management is learning, and problem solving is learning. Okay, then cooking is learning. Then interpersonal relationship is learning, and negotiation is learning, and then proper body language is learning, proper pronunciation is learning, which is not learning. Okay, so we have all the things together which will make us better personality with learning. Well, we have academic side, we can get marks. Okay, it's very easy. For example, you have some 5-6 papers for each semester, and for each paper you need 5 essays. Out of the 5 essays, you answer all the questions. Okay, then you get first class, but you know only 5 essays. What you learn in the first semester, you forget in the second semester. What you learn in the second semester, you forget in the third. When you come to the last semester, you forget what all you studied in the first 5 semesters, and finally you come out like a white paper as the one which joined the college in the beginning. By the time you joined the college, a white paper. By the time you came out of the college, you are a white paper. That is not learning at all. Learning is internalizing, keeping, advancing, projecting, making it useful, making it known for others, making it useful for others. So the very crux of learning is, right, being useful to yourself and to others, and there is no end to learning. I think this is more than enough. Thank you so much for being with me for this. How many hours? 1 hour?
1.5 hours.
1.5 hours. You have been with me for 1.5 hours. This is really tremendous. I'm so happy about it. How many participants?
16.
All the 60 people, I thank you so much, and I remember you forever to come. Now this is going to be a question and answer session. You can feel free. I can answer your questions. Please come online.
I have one basic question, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Now, can you please differentiate listening and reading? Where it is
Listening,
important?
okay, listening and reading.
Reading.
Okay, listening is an active skill. Reading is a passive skill to start with. Reading, you have your own pace. For example, you can go slow, you can go fast, you can make out what is there, you can wait and do it, you can read in chunks, wait for some time. But listening is not like that. For example, somebody is speaking for 1 hour, within that 1 hour, you have to get the maximum of that. This is an active skill. Reading is a passive skill, basically. Right?
Thank
This
you.
is yeah. Good. Thank you for your question. Very
What
interesting.
about what is the scientific methodology underlying in listening?
Underlying listening.
Comparing reading, yes.
Yeah.
You asked me something like, what is the best way of listening? Am I right?
Yes,
You
sir.
asked me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
Okay.
are correct.
I tell you.
May I say something,
Yeah,
Professor?
sure. I'll be doubly happy. Please.
Dr. Sivakumar sir, Principal sir, listening is, hello, Sivakumar sir? Hello?
Yeah, is that Muniandi calling out? Okay, I'll tell you. Muniandi, the question is posed to me.
Please.
When listening, you are not supposed to, okay, you keep listening to somebody. While listening, you are not supposed to make judgmental kind of thinking. Just keep listening. Try to make all the connections. And after listening fully well, then you come to final judgment. In between, you go about judging, you will never get proper listening. Okay?
Listening is, sir, but in my recent observation, listening is not watching. Listening is observing, not watching, following and observing.
Observation. Actually,
I
observation
agree.
is also one of the listening type. Okay, well, my question is,
Yeah.
reading can be done by everybody or anybody. Listening, somebody
Hmm.
can do.
Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah, that's what.
Yes.
And what is the important?
yes.
Why,
Good.
why I'm asking
Okay.
this question, under what conditions the student learning is so important, or to make the student, making him to listen, which condition the student will be enabled for listening.
Okay, it's a very good question, but listen to me very, very carefully, very carefully. There are three types of students. Okay, some of them are visually oriented, some of them are auditorily oriented, some of them are space oriented. What I want to tell you is, when you talk to them, giving the visual kind of communication through your speech, they understand very easily, they listen very easily. For some people, it's all auditory. It's all the sounding of the words and phrases and the best way of speaking that will appeal to them. For some people, you talk about something as if happening in a space, as an incident, they listen. So these are the three ways with which we can educate our children as well as students. That is why the children are very fond of listening to stories, because they can see everything visual. Okay,
Thank you.
starting from this Kakanari story onwards. Okay.
Very nice, sir. Thank you.
This is the answer. Answer is, we have three types of students. The students who go for visual, students who go for auditory sense, students who go for kinesthetic sense, the touching, smelling, and all those things, So when you make a picture, when you talk about a picture, or you talk about an incident, do it in such a way that you answer all these areas so that it will be appealing to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
The other people can ask me questions. Yeah. Yes, sir, Kumar.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Absolutely. Very nice answer. Since the FDP is connected to, teaching, learning, and research. That's what I asked this question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. If more persons are coming on the way, I'll be happy, but there are.
Yeah. There are series of questions from the participants. Sir, Muniandi, sir. Sir?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Muniandi.
Sir, you will.
Actually.
Yeah, sir, please. Sir,
Yes.
Any question, sir?
Yeah,
I don't have
I'm
no
waiting for
question.
questions. I'm waiting for questions.
Yeah, please. Professor is waiting for the questions from audience
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
If
from the chat box.
audience, the audience are requested to come up with their own questions, please. Audience, please. If you have any question, please come out with those questions. Our professor is waiting eagerly to answer all your questions. Please.
Okay, it's all kind of chat box. People are giving their comments only. You can ask your questions in the chat box too.
Sir, what are the learning disabilities, sir? What are the learning disabilities?
Learning disability, it goes with your hearing disability. You learn many things by listening. A child learns everything by listening. 3 to 5 years now, I told you in the beginning, a child learns everything by listening. If you have
We must be
listening disability, you have learned.
Enthusiasm is the basic. Yes, enthusiasm is the basic one. Otherwise, if you are not interested in a particular matter, and the learning is no possible. That is the basic matter. Yeah. Please.
I'm also looking for that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got the answer.
Please.
Since learning disabilities, is it very, very clear? My question is, suppose a guy is having deaf and dumb. What about the case of him?
Okay, make your question clear, Kumar.
Yeah, okay, sir. A guy is unable to speak, unable to hear. In the case of that person, what are the disabilities?
Okay, the problem is cognition.
Yeah, yes.
Cognition is the word.
Cognition
means they are not able to relate one thing with another.
Yeah.
When they fail at it, it's a big trouble. They never understand anything. And there are many teachers, they cannot make one connection with another. Many students, one connection with another. So the genius is the one who is capable of synthesizing all the matters together. If there is cognition trouble, I think they can be trained a little bit towards that. So for example, normally people who are playing chess, they can get connected with all those intricate matters. All your learning, it doesn't take place in isolation. It takes place with so many other factors. For example, those people who can hear very well can be very good musicians. Many of us do not know that. So I cannot sing. Now, not many people can sing, but some people can sing, just by listening once, because they have acute sense of listening power. If their listening power is good. And there are some people, by looking at something, they will say, this is 10 feet tall, this is 20 feet tall. This is cognition. Just by looking at a building, they can say that. Then looking at a person, they will say, he's a good person. All these are cognition.
Yeah, that's what, since dyslexia peoples, that's what I asked this question.
Yeah, good. I'm happy, Sukumar, asking many questions. You are a very big resource person for me.
No, not like that, sir. Since the topic is so
Professor,
good and connected.
Now, Professor Subhatra, madam, please.
Okay.
You have your means, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
You can ask me questions now. Please. Subhadra, please.
Okay, sir. So you give a lot of strategy based for learning and especially listening. Can you give any suggestion for the strategy of reading?
Yeah, for strategy of reading, right? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
reading, that depends on the material, okay? Depends on the material. For example, if you read a very short, a story, it's easy to read. Suppose you read philosophy, you cannot have the same kind of reading. Suppose you read psychology, well, you need some background understanding. So the reading itself differs depending on the material that you are reading. And general reading is, you just go for general, suppose you have some 10 pages to read. Don't read it minutely right from the beginning. Just go for the general reading. All the 10 pages, read very fastly so you can make out what is in there. Once you do that, then the second reading, go for the 10 pages, little bit minutely, you'll understand more. And third time, you'll understand everything. And never think that you can understand everything right in the beginning. So you have to complete reading for about 10, 20 pages, depending on the subject, depending on, what is required of that reading. So this is how you should read. Read in total. Then you go for second reading, you understand everything, which is what I've been doing all my life.
Okay.
Are you the Subhadra who studied in CPA college, now working in English department?
Yeah,
I'm
working. Assistant professor of English.
Proudly to say I'm a
Once,
student, sir.
once she was a student.
I remember she was our student, very good student. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, now she is the assistant professor here, sir, teacher. The
Oh,
role
she
you
asked
played, and I'm
Yeah.
playing. Is also
Yeah,
played.
she asked a very sensible question. And now for other questions, there are people, many people are there, even from other departments, they can ask me questions. So I'll wait for 1-2 minutes. If there is no more question, we will say bye to each other. Okay.
Nice. Let us be waiting.
Okay.
Ask the people to write questions in
Any-
chat box. You read chat box and answer. Ask the
Yeah,
people.
right. I'll read chat box.
Questions in any form
Chat
are
box.
welcomed. Please, either through chat box or through, audio. Questions are welcomed. And dear professors, our chief guest is waiting for the questions from your side. Please. It's a very big area, and you must have many questions. Many questions. You may ask those questions now. Yeah, please. Reading. First of all, a professor explained to Subhatra that the reading is depending upon the material, but also, Madam Subhatra, the reading, one particular matter we have to read. It is at one stage decided by the need of the hour. When we are in need, we have to read things. As Professor said, not only for 2 times, but many times. Yeah, very good question. Because we are sometimes finding fault, reading so difficult. But whenever we are in need, we have to read all those things, Yes. Please, respected professors, your questions are welcomed. Kindly, please come out with your own questions, please. Don't feel shy of asking questions. No question is basic question, and any question is very important. If you are in any doubt, please. Professor is waiting. Our chief guest is waiting. Kindly.
Okay, now 2 minutes over since nobody's somebody is there with a question.
Yeah, please.
My advice to the next generation: update, learn, internalize things, and discuss matters with other people, and so that it become a source of inspiration for everyone. Am I right? Learn, internalize, update, discuss with people. You become a source of inspiration to your students, your children, your friends, and everybody. Then you become more meaningful. What is this? Yeah. Where is the question?
Observe technique in modern world.
Okay, somebody is asking a question like, is there any observation technique? Make use of all your 5 senses. I mean, seeing, touching,
Right,
hearing, smelling,
right.
all the 5
Right
senses,
answer.
make use of that. That becomes, you are a very good observer.
Right answer, sir. Best
Okay.
answer.
See, in half of the time when we are in the class, mind will be elsewhere. Teacher will be speaking. We do not know, we don't even know what he is speaking about. We don't even know where we are. So I don't want such things to happen. What I want to tell you is, apply all your senses, you become a good observer. Okay? Nice question. Who is that? Bharati Raja? Bharat Raja, for which department?
BB.
Oh, BBA. Good. Thank you, Bharat Raja. Then, okay, can I say, can I take farewell? Dr. Murugesan?
Yes, sir.
If the session is over,
Okay,
say
sir.
bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
I
thank you.
request Professor CM to conclude the session, sir.
I
Okay.
see. Okay,
Good,
sir.
good, good.
Okay. And once again, dear principal, beloved Dr. Sivakumar sir, and my beloved teacher, all-time head of the Department of English, CPA College, Dr. R. Mohan Sundaram sir, and coordinators, Dr. Murugesan sir, Dr. Krishan sir, and all participant professors. Really, we enjoyed the session given by our professor after a long gap. And today's blessing, I think I was able to enjoy in a very big way, enjoyable, and his voice is so sweet, and the matter he delivered is really a wonderful one. The learning, we always learn, but learning is the primary skill. Sorry, listening is the primary skill. Yes, we have 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing. But it is suitable not only for language, but for any matter. Listening, we are listening to something, and then we are, speaking about that matter, and then we try to do matters. In such a way, learning, a teacher is a very good learner, as our professor said. A learner could be a very good teacher. And everyone is learner. In this world, everybody is learner. We are learning every day, every minute. And we are learning not only new matters, but already the matters we ignored in the past. At one stage, we come to understand about that matter. When that situation arises, we feel that how careless we had been. That's a way we have to be careful. And the professor answered are very important in not only learning, but in observing matters. So they are the key ways to learning matters. The session was wonderful. And I thank our principal and the coordinators, Muriyasan sir, Dr. Krishnan sir, for giving such an opportunity to me. And I thank our professor, Dr. Aram sir, for having given a wonderful session, and which I'm hopeful that this will be a fruitful one for the teachers who attended this program, and they will, I think, propagate the matter given by our professor. In such a way, it was a wonderful one. I thank you all. And thank you, Sir Aram, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
thank
nice,
you. Thank you very
very
much.
nice time we
It's
had.
my pleasure.
And thank
It's
you.
my privilege.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
I
you.
feel honored. I feel honored.
We too feel honored, sir, because you are, even though you are a retired professor, but your role is found to be here so meritoriously. And thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.